when it's ready. Oh, there we are. We are live. Hello again, and welcome back to the panel Beyond the Business. Today is Wednesday, 11 o'clock. We're always here at that time. Hello, ladies. How are we doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Good.
Great, thank you.
So, I didn't tell you this before we came on, but we have had no water. No water. I think we're hitting about day 5. So if my doorbell rings, I'm going to have to go because we've had trickling bits of water, um, and I was feeling really smug because I live in a block of flats and there's 3 floors, so there's ground, first, second. I'm in the first. I'm in the middle, and I've had bits of water, so I've been really smug because I'm like, at least I've got something, like if I leave the tap running maybe for about 5 minutes or so, it will fill a bowl where I can filter my water and I've got water to drink and all that. So I've not been fussed. Everybody else is going crazy. And then yesterday, somebody was ringing my bell, and I was on the phone, and I was on a call, and they would not stop ringing, and I'm like, it's not for me. I'm not going to answer. And when I walked out, there was 48 bottles of water that had been small bottles that had been left, and I'm like, I don't know whose this is. So I put a message on the group, and I go, whoever's got water, ordered water, it's here outside my apartment. Turns out Thames Water are now delivering water to people's homes if you don't have water. Um, so this morning, wake up and there's not a drop of water coming out of the taps, nothing. So I've had to go to the gym to go and shower, which is why I look so clean. So I've been to the gym to go and shower, um, and I've had to ring Thames Water and say, I need water, please. And we've got water stations
Gosh.
where you can go and collect water for household use, and they're delivering some of that for me as well. So if they ring the bell and I have to go and open the door, and that's where I'm going. But yeah, we've got no water.
We are.
I feel like
What we
last
talked
week
about last week.
Exactly.
it's like you brought this upon yourself, Victoria. It's all your fault talking about not having water in a house.
I blame Naomi. It was Naomi's
Ah,
idea of the
I
topic.
blame Father David for having the conversation with me.
We blame Father Dave for talking about it. So yeah, so we've got no water. But I'm just grateful that it's not as hot. But yeah, I mean, it's still hot, and I've had to still have 2 showers a day, but it is literally trickling water. So I'll be back at the gym later on today, um, doing some training, and then back in the showers.
Oh, it is things we take for granted, hey?
Yeah, very
Definitely.
much so. Very much so. You just never realize. I mean, I've been able to cook for the last few days, and now if I want to cook anything, I need water. There's no water coming out of the taps to wash your hands, to fill the toilets and stuff, like literally all of that. Yeah, it's a whole
And
thing.
you also use like your bowl of water for your healing and things as well, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, and I've got that. So I've got one there. I don't know what. Yeah, and we've got one in the in the bedroom. Yeah. So, and I've got quite a few healing sessions to do today as well. So, fun and games, fun and games, fun and games. But anyway, but I do travel with a case of water in my boot at all times. So I do have water in my boot. I do have water in my water filter. Um, and I know some people just haven't got that. So after this, I'm going to put the number for Thames Water in the group, in my apartment group, so that people know that they can call and order water. It is a thing. Anyway, but the good thing is, I don't have anybody living with me. Um, so, I don't have any family. There's nobody else I need to worry about. I don't need to worry about anybody else's hygiene or lack of. I don't need to worry about, somebody else having enough water to drink. And talking about family and everything else, today we're talking about family dynamics. Do you like the segue?
Oh,
Beautiful.
smooth as.
So yeah, so we're talking about family dynamics again. One of Naomi's topics. It's really funny because so Naomi wanted to talk about this just after her dad's birthday. So I'm like, okay. So she spent
Definitely a reason.
so she's had to navigate family and stuff and bring them all together for a higher purpose. And yeah, so Naomi, tell us, why did you want to talk about family dynamics?
Because I think it's not talked about enough.
Yeah.
And I think so many people think that they are failing in areas of their life. Because let's be honest, like Hallmark, Disney, you know, all the kind of like, if you look at the cards in the shops, it's like, my dearest this, my darling that, the best person in the world. Most of the time we just barely tolerate a lot of our family members.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And sometimes our family members cause us a huge amount of pain and hurt and everything else.
mm,
And we don't talk about it because of shame, embarrassment. Going to use one of my kind of, like my dad's sayings, never complain, never explain, brush it all under the carpet.
mm,
But I think what that does is it causes huge resentment, but it also quite often causes people not to do the healing work because they just think, you know what, it just must be me, or it must just be my family. And it's only since I've been, open about the challenges, my family dynamics and things, that clients, but also, people on the internet who follow me, whether it doesn't matter who it is, not even just women, message me and say, oh my gosh, like I battled, I had that same relationship with my dad, my mum, my sibling. Thank you for normalizing it. Thank you for, because people just sometimes feel like they're the ones that are failing in life because we see all the social media rubbish on Valentine's Day, love my wonderful partner. And some of us know the backstory behind that relationship. It's not all roses and, chocolate boxes. So I think it's an important conversation to have.
yeah. Do you know what? So years ago, I went back to Cameroon for holidays. Cameroon, my parents lived there. I'm from there originally, and we met up with a childhood friend. And there used to be that time, in there used to be an age where you used to look at everybody else's family and think that that family was more perfect than yours. Like, oh my God, I wish I was part of that family. Or I bet they don't have the sort of things that we deal with. And I remember me and this childhood friend was sat there talking, and he mentioned something about his father, about the household. I went, did it happen in your house too? He went, yeah. Did it happen in yours too? He went, yeah. He went, ooh, we thought we're the only ones going through it. And it's like, no, it's everywhere. But the truth of the matter is, I think in general, we, you, I believe that the families are chosen. So it's like karmically and souls, they choose to come together, whether they like it or not, right? And there's a deeper spiritual education on that piece. But I think sometimes the reason why people put up with it is because it's like, well, this is what I've got.
Yeah.
This is what I've been dealt with. It's not like I'm going to go look for another family. And even if you're really close to another family, it's not. They say there's now thicker than blood, right? And stuff. It's like it's a blood thing. But I think what people fail to realize is you can love somebody and not like them,
Mhm.
and also it's okay to do the work on you, and also that your life's journey is separate to theirs, and that it's okay for you to create boundaries and set standards for yourself and not to be dragged in at all times into the drama. But here's the thing though, birthdays will always happen, and if you're a family who celebrate birthdays and you have to bring people, there are times sometimes where you go, do you know what, I don't really like you. I love you because you're my flesh and blood. But you know what? For the greater good, we're going to have this birthday party. We're all going to be polite. And when it's time to go, I'm off home, back to my own normality. And in some families, that's just true. And actually, I think that if we're really honest, everybody has that dynamic somewhere in their family. Rochelle, what do you think?
I think it's really interesting because we've been talking about this quite a lot recently. So it's a school summer holidays for us.
Yeah.
Me and my sister have both got our two children. I work from home, so technically people just think that you don't actually work because you're just at home, so you're always here. So where she's working, so she'll often drop the kids off here, and then she goes off to work. So I'll have loads of kids running around the house, and like I see, and even if that wasn't the situation, it's the summer holidays, so she'd be calling around with the kids anyway. Naturally, they spend quite a lot of time together. I'd say our children have more of a sibling relationship than cousins. They do see each other at least like probably three times a week and spend long periods of time together. In comparison to Chris, my partner's family, who we see maybe once every 6 months. So like our garden over this summer, I said yesterday, I feel sorry for our neighbours because they must just be like, oh my God, they're like having parties every day. There's just always people in the garden, children in the garden, cars parked outside of the house. Whereas like I don't see that our neighbours do have a lot of visitors. They tend to go out a lot, probably because we're making so much noise. Maybe I don't know. um, but I think it is really interesting how different families work. Like Chris, I don't think I don't think he minds seeing our family that often. He chooses to come on holiday with us. It's usually his idea that we go on holiday as a large group. I think he
Yeah.
likes our family dynamics, but at the same time can see that his family doesn't work in that same way. And even like in my family, we've got lots of different micro families, being one of seven with a few different combinations of parents. We've all got our like the siblings that we're closer to and siblings we have different relationships to. One of my brothers who's got a different mum to me, but he lived with me for 3 years. So I've got a different relationship with him, and he's really close to my kids because he was there with them when they were from about two to five, those sorts of ages. So he's really close with them. Whereas my sister's kids, he's not quite as close to because he's never lived with them and he's not had that same sort of relationship. So I think even just within one family unit, there's so many different dynamics.
Mm. I mean, you're one of seven. I'm one of six. Naomi's one of two.
Yeah.
So I
I
guess.
can't imagine being like one of six or one of six. I just cannot imagine.
Oh, it's so much fun, Naomi. Do you know
I can
what?
imagine it's freaking chaos.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? It's like the thing is, like there's six of us, and I've got a different relationship with every single sibling.
Yeah.
And there's times when we all get on a Zoom, and my mum will come in. And one thing I will say is that even if we weren't related to each other, and I'm not saying we have perfect relationships, we would have been friends somehow.
That's
Even if
lovely.
it's even if it's friends who only need in little doses, we would have been friends somehow. Like when you see us just cackle and just take the mickey out of each other and banter, and we don't necessarily agree how we all live our lives. Like, oh God, if you said to us, okay, you can criticize for an hour and knock yourself out, I'm sure we'd all come out with all sorts on how this person lives their life and how they do things. But equally, there's just something about blood that I think just ties you. And I think when you've got more people, you kind of find your person in those people. So my sister and I, there's 11 years between us. We could be on the phone for hours and just cackle and talk. We could talk anything from the kids to our parents to work. We literally just go back and forth, and we could have all sorts of conversations. But I've got another sister. If she ever listens to this, she'll literally talk at you. So she could be talking. She'll literally just get on the phone and just start talking. You could go to Timbuktu, come back. She'll still be having the same conversation and stuff. And what have you. And all she wants is just be listened to and heard and everything else. And I've got a brother who just doesn't like talking to us. Like as far as he's concerned and stuff, it's like if he spoke to you 6 months ago, as far as he's concerned, that's good enough. And and again, we just leave him to it, and it's like okay, fair enough and stuff,
Chris
and
is that person in his family.
yeah, and that's what he's chosen and what have you. But unfortunately, as an African man, You have to you do have to make the effort. You're encouraged to make the effort, especially with your mum. And I say this to him, I'm like, the day she goes, it's not just going to be my parent, it's going to be our parent. So even if you don't talk to me, speak to her, make the effort and stuff. So and everybody's different. I think the men in our family are more evasive than the women. The women like to just check in with each other and stuff. I do have another sister who we can go 6 months and not talk. And the other day she called me and I was like, she wants something. She did. She did. And stuff. But again, that's her dynamic and stuff. So I think with you, Naomi, I think you probably feel it more because you've only got a choice of one. You've got a choice of one and you've gone, where's everybody? Her face.
100%, 100%. And like so much of what you just said there really resonates even just with one sibling.
Mm,
I I have learned to understand
yeah.
other people's side
Yeah.
because we're not all the same.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's family, friends, whatever it is. And something, I help my clients with because so often my clients come to me, and one of the reasons they emotionally eat or drink is
Mm,
because they don't know how to communicate, whether it's with their
mm,
partner, whether it's with their family, whether it's with their siblings, whether it's with their boss, whoever it is.
yeah.
And when you can understand and learn to communicate, or in some cases, let the communication go,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's absolutely liberating.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can. Do you know what I've learned? And I learned this a long time ago because I do believe you're right, Naomi. It's like if you don't know how to communicate, what do? You have to suppress that emotion somehow, and food is a good way to do that, right? Well,
Yeah.
not a good way, but it's an easy way to do that. It's like you just
It's what we were taught from childhood.
yeah you're upset, have a pudding, have a
Yeah.
this. It's
Yeah.
always sort of like to numb that feeling. One thing that helps me to navigate my relationship with my siblings is, and by the way, I have on one side, on my mum's side of the family, I think I've got about 26 cousins, and God knows how many on my dad's side and stuff. So there's a lot of us. But one thing I've learned is that even though we have the same parents, and in some case we don't have the same parents because we do have a blended situation somewhere. I believe that even if you have the same parents, you still have a different experience of those parents. So the parents that I had and the childhood that I had is very different to the childhood that my elder sisters had. Very different to what my sister and I, who are quite close, when we talk about our childhood, sometimes you'll think it's two different households,
Mm.
and that shapes us as well because if you felt like you were bullied or you were verbally abused or um, you were suppressed in somehow or or nobody listened to you, you're going to behave in a way that you can you can protect yourself if that makes sense and stuff. Oh, we've got Charlotte.
I
Hello,
just,
Charlotte.
oh,
Charlotte
hi,
said, "Hi,
Charlotte.
I'm new. One of my friends recommended this channel. Welcome.
Who's your friend,
Yeah,
Charlotte?
who's your friend? Who told you? Think of them a shout out.
Something I want to pick up from there is because, like you said, and I found this fascinating when I learned this only a couple of years ago. That, like you said, two siblings growing up in the same household, or six or seven,
Yeah.
have a completely different experience. Something else that has become quite apparent and clear to me through the people, the women that I work with, but also the conversations that I have is where there are siblings who have had difficult relationships, I am starting to hear a lot more where when the parents pass, the relationships heal.
Yes, that happens.
And I think sometimes the parent can be, or the parents can be the problem. And it's fascinating. I've had quite a few friends and clients who have experienced that themselves. That when that last parent has passed, actually that relationship, the dynamics change again.
Mm. When my dad passed, I noticed a change in the dynamic of the whole family.
Mm.
And it was really interesting because if you'd have asked me before my dad died, I would have said my mom was the foundation of the family. When my dad died, crap. There was so much that we had to navigate. And now I think my mom still was my mom still is the matriarch of the family. She still holds the family. But I think her strength came from my dad, if that makes sense, and stuff like knowing that he was so him going, um, because it wasn't expected, even though he had dementia, it wasn't expected that that would happen then. But him going really shook the foundation of our family. Like, we had how people behaved, how people tried to deal with it, how people, how things were navigated. Like I saw my mom, who's always been stiff upper lip, black woman, get on with it, all of a sudden would wake up in the night crying, howling, and stuff, and everything else. And you're like, what's going on? You know. So yeah, so I believe that when somebody leaves, I don't think it's just about healing. I think it's also realization as well. Because here's the thing: whether we like it or not, our parents are human beings,
Yeah.
and our parents, I think when you're born into a family, you're given this whole thing of the parent is the perfect person who does no wrong, needs to get it right all the time. But actually that's not true. A parent is just doing the best they can, because I don't care how many books you get given on parenting, and I am not a parent, but I've seen tens and tens of children being born in our family. Um, every child is different. So even my sister has 4 children. She has a parent set of twins and 2 others. They're all different. Even the twins, they're so different in what they believe, in how they like to do stuff. Even the way they do their hair, and it has nothing to do with, I don't want to look like her. It's just based on their experiences. And if you bring the twins together and ask them to share their experiences of their childhood and their family, they will give you completely different answers. So,
Yeah.
so yes, there could be some healing, but I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the answer. Um, I think there's healing from all the dynamics because when you're born, especially if you're the last child, you're born into the thoughts and beliefs of everybody else. So
Yeah.
if does that make sense? So if your sister didn't like take that, even if do you know what I mean? And stuff, it's like you're aware that she doesn't like take that. Whether you go and like take that at all, it's still something that you're aware that she doesn't like take that. And when I work with my clients, we go deeper than the parent because this is why I'm so passionate about ancestral curses and ancestral dynamics because it's beyond family dynamics. It's not just the mum and dad that you met that you're aware of, whether they're here or not. It's so much deeper. It's probably what my grandma couldn't find language for. And my grandma couldn't read or write. I don't know if anybody knows that. But it's probably what she couldn't find language for. It's probably what her mum couldn't find language for. So it's so much deeper. But I think sometimes you have to go, I choose my journey because in your healing journey, you can also heal others. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heal people, hurt people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So I have so much to say, and I'm like, I don't know where to start.
Before you do, can I just say, because Charlotte's just commented and says she has 2 little girls. So whilst Rochelle is about to start War and Peace,
Yes.
Charlotte, tell us, do your 2 little girls get on together? What are the dynamics like? What's the age difference? We'd love to know. Over to you, Rochelle.
So I think I'm going to start at that stage. So I've got my 2 children. They've both just had birthdays. Joshua was 10 on Sunday. Maisie was 12 on Tuesday. And them 2 children themselves couldn't be more different. So for instance, even just the day itself, I hardly saw Joshua. He got a PC for his birthday. He wanted to be gaming. So we basically lost him to his room, and then his friends came round and he was charging around with them. So I had time to like write a Facebook post for him, post some pictures and stuff. And then yesterday was Maisie's birthday, and it got to the end of the day, and I was like, "Oh no, I've not wrote a post for Maisie." I put a story out and stuff, and I was like, "Well, why did I have time to do that for Joshua and not Maisie?" But that was because Maisie wanted us to build a frog pond for her, so we spend a lot of the day building a frog pond. We went and spent 2 hours walking around Hobbycraft buying stuff. She got a cry cut or cricket machine, where you print like lettering and then personalize like your water bottles and things like that. So we were playing with that. So I was like, that's why I didn't get time with Maisie, because she's much more of a, she wants to be doing things like with an adult by her side, whereas Joshua's like independent, wants to be doing his own thing with his friends. And it's very similar when we go on holiday. Joshua will make loads and loads of friends. We'll hardly see him all holiday. Maisie will be by our side, and then maybe in an evening go and play with Joshua and his friends. So the personalities there create different, very different dynamics. And if you ask them both, they'll both say that I love the other one more than the other, because I might have told them not to do something once today, which means I hate them. Um, so that in itself, having those two relationships, very different children, I do have to treat them differently, because they respond differently to things that I say to them. Like Joshua's very sensitive, and you have to kind of like say things in an encouraging way to him. Otherwise, he's just not going to do it, and he'll end up having like laid on the floor crying, and it's going to take a million times longer doing whatever you want him to do rather than shouting at him. He doesn't respond well to shouting. Whereas sometimes Maisie, she does respond quite well to shouting. She has like a little breakdown after she's been shouted at, but then she's like, okay, now I'm going to get on with it. So it's that those different personalities respond differently to different forms of discipline. And then to the brothers and sisters, so I feel like I fit in with both of you, because I grew up only having my one sister. So like I only lived in the same house as my one sister. So we grew up, the two of us, with the 4 year age gap. And like I can see in I was, being the first child, I was the one that wasn't allowed to shave my legs until I was 14, whereas my sister shaved her legs at the same time as me, so she was only 10. And I was like, I've had hairy legs for the last 4 years and you've not let me shave my legs. And now my little sister is shaving hers. She doesn't have to go through those things. So she was allowed to do things a lot earlier than me. But I can see how she followed in my footsteps, wanting to do the things that I was doing, even down to I went to college and did art, and she came to college and did art. So she kind of like looks up to me and follows like along my path. But then also I was naturally very clever and didn't have to try that hard to get the good grades, whereas she was not. She didn't try, but I naturally got A's, she naturally got C's, so she felt like she could never live up to like what I was achieving. So there's that dynamic. And then you go like up and up, and Victoria was talking about like when your dad passed away. We had the same in our family when my nan passed away, and she was the glue that held us all together. She'd got her 7 children, they'd all got children, we were all having children, and every Sunday you could go to her house and she'd cook Sunday dinner, and there could be 4 or 5 of us there, or there could be 20, 25 of us there. And it was just amazing to be around all the different generations and get to see each other. And most people would go around maybe like once a month, and everyone would go at different times and see different people. But then once she passed away, we kind of lost that family hub. And then also, as all the families have had more children, each family on its own, like my family on its own is so big, we can't really do that without having a whole party of like 100 people. We can't all get together in the same way as what we were doing 10 years ago. So that's my family pyramid.
Dynamic. Can I add to Rochelle's family dynamic as well? Because I was fortunate to spend was it, because it's about 3 weeks ago
Oh
now.
yeah, it was Dylan's birthday, my nephew's birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So went round and spent the time with the whole family and stuff. And it's fascinating. I'm so glad that we're talking about this, because I was watching the family dynamics of Rochelle's family and stuff, and I was just sat there watching. And afterwards, I came out and I gave her my opinion. I was like, that's so interesting that that happens with that person and this person. And she's like, that's so funny that you noticed that. I was like, oh yeah, you can tell like the different dynamics. But what's so funny is one of Rochelle's brother walked in. He walked in and it was like watching Rochelle. And it's different mums as well, which is so funny. But it was like watching Rochelle, and I think he's got beard, and he just had an afro, and it was like, and he walked out and went, "Oh my god!" And it was that was my response because it was literally like Rochelle walking towards me, but she just done her hair differently and grown a beard and stuff. It's so funny. Yeah, yeah, but again, lovely, lovely family, different dynamics. Everybody's got their role. And again, the kids are very sibling orientated rather than cousins. But it's fun watching somebody else's dynamic because you're like, well, I'm not part of that, but it's really, I'm like the fly on the wall watching them and seeing. And I said to Rochelle, I was like, it's so funny because you're that person who everybody believes that you're fine. Everybody believes that you'll get on with it and stuff like it's. But also there is. I was talking to her brother, and her brother was like, "Yeah, Rochelle's going to teach me about property and stuff." Is she? This is after making fun of me and cursing my drive home. He was like, "You're going to take hours to get home. Why are you going home now?" He was saying to me. But equally, he was like, "Yeah, Rochelle's going to teach me. Rochelle's going to teach me this and that and stuff." And I was like, "That is so cool because." In families, you do get people who do look after you. My siblings pretend not to look up to me at all and stuff until they need advice, and then they need it, and they go, "Can I just ask you a question?" That's their idea of, "Oh, I'm looking up to you. I'm going to take from what you're saying and stuff." So yeah.
I think the other thing you found interesting was like the dynamic between my mum and dad. So my mum and
Oh
dad
my
split
god, the
up when
cutest, the cutest.
I
Oh,
was 8, I think, when they split up. And now I'm coming up to 38, so 30 years they've been separated. But they get on well. They're like an old married couple when they're
they're
together.
so cute. I didn't want to say anything because normally Rochelle's mum comes up, watches and stuff. They're so cute. It's like I don't know if anybody's watched Friends where Chandler cries. I think Rachel and Ross had been nice to each other, and Chandler goes, "I just don't know why you two can't just get back together." That's how I felt. Like I was just like, they're so cute. Like they're just the cutest. Like they just literally banter off each other, and so it's just the cutest thing.
Yeah, you're like, in another universe they were together forever, but not in this
No,
universe.
it's fine.
Can I come back to something that you said, Rochelle? Because when you spoke about Maisie and Joshua and like their birthdays, and Joshua just like going to his room, playing on his PlayStation, and Maisie like having all that time with you that you forgot to post, the first thing that popped into my head was love languages.
Yes.
Mm.
And isn't it interesting, like at our ages, okay, 38, 51, Vic, I can't remember how old you are, 50,
52. Oh no, 53.
53, that love languages isn't something that we necessarily grew up knowing about, but how powerful it is now. So I can understand, I know my dad's love language is, he just wants my time. He
Yeah,
just wants my time.
yeah,
Yes, I do buy him gifts, do celebrations, organize parties, do all those different things. But honestly, he wouldn't care about the hot air balloon, the party. He wouldn't care about what the food is that's being served. It's the time, the feelings, the emotions. And when you were saying that, I thought, there you go. You've got one child who probably their language love language is like the kind of the time and the acts of what is it, acts of
service, acts of service.
Service.
thank you, acts of service. And then you've got one and it probably is gifts.
Yeah.
But also, isn't that powerful and empowering, not just for you as a parent, but if the two siblings, you see, that's the thing. If I'd realized from an earlier age, maybe my siblings' love language, then do you know what? Maybe that relationship would have had a stronger bond, a chance, whatever it might be. But when you are so polar opposite,
Yeah.
and you're trying to meet a love language that isn't like reciprocated,
Mm.
then it's so odd. And just as an example, so we had my dad's birthday party last Saturday,
Yeah.
And, I spent 3.5 months. Don't get me wrong, I hadn't spent like 3.5 months, like, every single day. But that was an idea 3.5 months before. He's 93. Last time I threw him a party was his 90th. Last big party was his 80th. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to cope with this now, especially with the dementia, the Alzheimer's, stroke last year. And I just thought, no, I want to do it. It could be the last birthday, it could be the last year. And it was like about getting those people together, doing all those different things. And on the Sunday, the day after the party, I sent my love language in a message, if I'm honest, bearing my soul a little bit, to my sibling. And it just got completely and utterly,
Oh, Naomi.
it's fine. Because here's the thing. It's like I said to my clients when I was telling them this the other day. Even a year ago, that would have absolutely floored me. And I would have been so upset and heartbroken. And why me? Why do I never get the reciprocation? But one thing I've learned is to not expect anything, which I know sounds quite glib and quite cold. And why should we have to kind of make that change in our mindset and our thoughts and everything? But the difference now is that I'm all good with that, because I know what what mine is, acts of service, is doing all those different things, but it's not everybody's.
And what's your sister's?
I don't flipping know.
Do you know why I was laughing when
I'll
you
tell you in 50 years.
I love that. So the reason why I was laughing when you started talking about love languages, and you're right. If we could just educate ourselves more on love languages, our relationships would be so much easier. But the reason I was laughing was because last night, as I was putting some stuff together, I Victoria, I was watching Ultimatum on Netflix. And Ultimatum is a show where it's for couples where one doesn't want to get married and the other one does. So they bring you to this show and go, after this whole thing, if you don't propose to me, we're done. Like, I'm walking away. And there was this girl there, and this guy was trying to navigate. It's her actual partner, and he's trying to navigate. So, what do you want from me? And he goes, "What you've just told me is 5 different love languages." She went, "Yeah." He goes, "So," he goes, "I thought there was a dominant one." She went, "Yeah." He goes, "But you want me to do all 5?" She went, "Yeah." And this poor bloke didn't know what to do himself, and she's like, "I want all 5." She was like, "I want all." She goes, "One is not enough," and stuff. And it was just hilarious because I'm like, yes, we're all bits of each one, but there's one that we're really dominant in and stuff. And for me, it is quality time. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. I mean, I I always feel like if somebody got me a present, they'll get it wrong anyway. Yeah, it's like there's no point in getting me a present. So just give me your time, and I'm happy with that.
Do you know what? As we've been, I'm so curious because I was like, I'm really frustrated now. I need to try and think of this. So I just had to quickly Google the 5 languages. I'm visual. I need to see an image
Yeah.
rather than thinking about them. I really can't figure out what my sister's love language is.
Go on, go read them through.
So, okay, so we've got words, which is encourage,
Yeah,
affirm, appreciate, empathize, listen carefully and actively.
yeah, no problem with
We've
that.
got touch, non-verbal use, body language to express love and affection. We've got acts, helping and showing love through actions and through active efforts. Time,
Yeah.
uninterrupted and focused quality time with conversation and direct engagement.
Yes.
And then we've got gifts, thoughtful gifts, both material and otherwise, to show your partner they are a priority. We think of love languages as our intimate relationships, our partners. I don't
Yeah.
believe it is.
No.
I know with my friends,
Yeah.
I have figured out a lot of their love languages because that actually helps me to be a better friend to them.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Maybe she is all of them.
Yeah.
I guess in all circumstances, we all, like, if I look at those, there are times that all of those are my love languages.
Yeah.
There are times that I do want a blooming gift.
Yeah.
And I don't even, and you just said there, Vic, about like I'll choose it myself. Don't get me wrong, I love like choosing my own gifts because I know what I'm going to get. My dad has always been an incredible gift giver since my mum passed away 32 years ago this year it was. Do you know what? One thing he has always done incredibly well since she passed away is the gifts that he has bought. Not elaborate, not like, indulgent, thoughtful.
That's beautiful.
And
Yeah.
always things that I've gone, oh, I really love that.
Yeah.
It's been very rare that I would think, oh my God, I need to ask Dad for the receipt to take that back. Like even clothing, the clothing he's bought me over the years. So yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, it is interesting. I think, do you know what? I think some of these things should be the bloody subjects we're taught in school.
See, I've always fancied the silver fox and stuff. And
I know you have. You fancy him even more now, don't you?
I fancy him even more now. And stuff. I'm talking about family dynamics. I'm just wondering if you want a stepmom and stuff to add to
I tell you what, if a stepmom comes in now at 93, you just get on with it. You just get on with it.
Oh, bless
Oh, amazing. My
Rochelle,
mum is listening, by the way. She
is that
is. Yeah. She's like, you should have had me on. She's just sent me a message.
You should get your mum on sometime.
Yeah, she really wants to.
We've said that, haven't we? We've talked about that topic, haven't we?
We'll organise for her to come on. She's got lots to talk about.
Yeah.
Me and her basically do our own podcast every morning. Like some of the conversations we get onto are very deep. And that's interesting in itself because I think me and my mum have got a very different relationship to like her other. She's got 2 other daughters and all our relationships with her are very different. Me and her are quite similar in our level of chattiness. So we just like talk non-stop, and similar to me and you, Victoria, I can be on the phone to my mum for 6 hours, get home, go and see her for a cup of tea and still have things to say. We like never run out of things to say. Whereas my sister, who's 4 years younger than me, she's much more like you have to like pull things out of her and get answers. And then my little sister, who's 13, she's much more like me, but obviously she's much younger at the moment, but she likes a good debate as well, and she's got her own business as well. I've been encouraging her all this time since she was like 6 to start a business, and she's got one.
She's doing really well. I was looking at her, the stuff that she put out yesterday. Rochelle, what's your love language? I know what your love language is, but
all of them.
No.
No one ever lets me have all of them, but I think it is. But I think, it's so hard.
I think he's taking
It's also important. I definitely need like touch. Is that one? Yeah, like touch and effect. Yeah, I think
me
that's
too. Massage my feet for me, stroke my hair for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I also need words of affection. I need you to tell me that you love me. Otherwise I won't believe you.
Words. That's it there. I got words. That is like Rochelle's world could come falling down if you don't do them words and stuff. Those words are very important. Very important.
Whereas Chris's is acts of service, so he's always doing things for me. But and like even just like washing the pots and tidying up and working in the business and stuff, working all hours. But I'm like, that's great that you're doing all that stuff, but I just need you to tell me that you love me more.
Yeah.
Every time you wash a plate, tell me you love me.
Rochelle has been known to come on a call and go, he doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't love me. Or she'll leave me a message and go, you don't love me anymore. I'm like, well, debating it at the moment and stuff. It's like, but yeah.
My mum says I'm the opposite of her. So she's like, when I'm sat on the settee, I want to be holding hands and cuddling and close and within touching distance. My mum's like, we're in the same room. Why do we need to touch at the opposite side of the settee? Get away from me.
See, I am I'm a serial singleton. Like I can't remember the last time I was in a relationship and stuff. So I think when I am with somebody, I am quite tactile. But because I'm normally quite always I'm normally single. Um, I I just, I'm okay. I'm self sufficient and stuff, so I don't necessarily need the touch. But I'm one of those where it's like when I see my nieces and nephews and stuff, and I'm very much a hugger. Like I am a hugger. Like even if I've just met you for the first time, I will hug, and and I still have to get used to the whole thing of people don't like hugs and stuff. So I remember years ago, um, I didn't know this, but I just met Lisa Johnson. We'd sort of like met each other at a few events, and people were like, "Oh, she doesn't like hugging." I said, "I don't understand what that means. What do you mean she doesn't?" And I remember we were at this party, and I just pulled her in and gave her a hug and stuff, and she succumbed to it and stuff, and we gave each other a hug. But what was so funny was there was pictures afterwards, and she actually had a badge saying, "I don't do hugs." I was just like, yeah, I don't understand what that means. And I give good hugs as well. It's like, even if you don't like hugs, you need a hug from Victoria. I do give incredible hugs and stuff. But yeah, it's only a recent thing where I realized that people don't like hugs. But I'm like, come in, let's have a proper hug.
No, that's interesting. When Chris's family aren't huggers, so when we go to Chris's house, you just walk in, like arms by your side, and you're like, "Hi," and it feels really awkward because all of my family are like, we all hug each other and kiss each other. It doesn't matter if I've already seen my mom twice that day; I'll still like give her a hug and a kiss when she walks into the room.
Yeah.
And the same with me and the kids; we're always hugging, and like that's my favorite part of the day in the morning when they wake up and they come into bed with me and they have a cuddle. Like that's where I'm like, we exchange all our like our love and words of affirmation, and then we can all go on about our day.
Well, on
Cute.
that note, as much as we love you and stuff, and we know that Naomi's got another show to go and do. So,
Radio Queen.
that's Radio Queen. And Charlotte did come on and say that she had daughters Lily and Layla. I love those names and
Yeah.
Yeah,
what have you, which is different
twins.
personalities. Yeah, but we will see you next week. We'll talk about a different topic. Are we seeing each other? Yeah, we're seeing each other next week, aren't we?
Yeah,
It's
I
the
will
week.
be
It's
coming
the week
live.
after that we're not.
I'll be coming live from Cyprus, so as long as my internet is good enough, I will be here.
I'll be there. Right. Well, we'll see you later. Go and love your families or not.
Hold on
Or
tight.
not.
Or not. I feel like
We're
we need to
ignored.
talk more about the or not, but I think it's a bit awkward to go, oh yeah, I don't like that person in my family.
That'll be a different show. We'll see you guys later.
Next week.
Bye, everyone.